Hey, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters. What if I told you there's a 1979 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny out there that could fetch you a cool $1.80 million? Yes, you heard that right, a penny worth more than a mansion. Imagine finding that in your pocket change. Now, before you go diving into your couch cushions, stick around because I'm about to spill all the juicy details about this legendary coin. Plus, I'll share a little story about how I almost mistook a valuable penny for a vending machine snack. You don't want to miss this one, it could change your life. So, what makes the 1979 D-Mint Mark penny so special? First, let's break it down. The D stands for Denver, where the coin was minted. And while millions of pennies were struck that year, this particular one has a unique secret sauce that skyrockets its value. It's all about a rare error in the minting process. These errors, like double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual alloys, are like hidden treasures for coin collectors. They're the reason why this specific penny has a jaw-dropping price tag of $1.8 million in today's market. Yup, a single penny that's worth more than a Lamborghini. Crazy, right? Now, you're probably thinking, okay, but how do I know if I have the penny? Great question. First, look for the year 1979. Easy, right? Next, check for the D-Mint mark under the date. This indicates it was minted in Denver. But here's the kicker, it's the fine details that matter. Rare coins like this often have microscopic anomalies that can only be seen under magnification. Here's a pro tip, grab a magnifying glass or even one of those fancy jeweler's loupes. If you notice doubling on the inscriptions or Lincoln's profile, you might just have hit the jackpot. I'm not saying quit your day job just yet, but you might want to start daydreaming about what you'd do with $1.8 million. Now, let me tell you a little story about the time I almost let a valuable coin slip through my fingers, literally. A few months ago, I was at a gas station, digging through my pocket change to grab a candy bar. I saw the shiny penny and thought, that looks kind of different. But instead of inspecting it, I tossed it into the vending machine like it was any old coin. Fast forward 2 weeks, I started researching rare pennies and realized the coin I had looked suspiciously similar to a high-value error penny. You better believe I went back to that gas station and stared at that vending machine like it owed me money. Lesson learned, always check your change. That candy bar was good, but not $1.8 million good. Alright, let's talk about the market for this coin. Why are collectors willing to shell out millions for a penny? It's all about rarity and demand. Coins like the 1979 D penny are sought after because they're incredibly scarce. Add the fact that coin collecting is a booming hobby, and you've got yourself a recipe for sky-high prices. The last time one of these rare pennies sold, it went for a whopping $1.8 million at auction. Can you imagine the bidding war? It's like the Super Bowl for coin nerds, minus the halftime show. If you're lucky enough to own one of these pennies, you're basically holding a golden ticket. Now, here's where it gets fun. You don't need to be a professional collector to find valuable coins. Start by checking your pocket change, your piggy bank, or that jar of coins gathering dust on your kitchen counter. Garage sales, flea markets, and even old coin rolls from the bank are great hunting grounds too. Trust me, it's like treasure hunting, but without the pirates. And here's a little insider strategy, join coin collecting groups online. These communities are full of enthusiasts who love sharing tips and spotting hidden gems. Who knows? You might even find a mentor who can help you decode the mysteries of your coins. So, what's the moral of the story? Don't underestimate the humble penny, it could be worth a fortune. The 1979 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny is proof that big things come in small packages. Now, if this inspired you to start hunting for rare coins, you're in the right place. Before you go grab your coin collection, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got tons of videos coming your way with more tips, tricks, and stories about coins that could make you rich. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're about to start your treasure hunt. Let's keep this coin conversation going, because who knows? Your next penny might just be the $1 million one. Hey there, coin lovers! Did you know that one tiny penny could be worth a small fortune? I'm not talking about a penny from your pocket change, but one with a very specific mint mark. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1964 D Lincoln penny, a coin that could be worth up to $1.1 million. Yeah, you heard that right, 1.1 million. So grab your magnifying glass, because this might just be the treasure you've been looking for. But first, let me ask you, how many of you have just thrown pennies aside, thinking they're not worth much? Be honest, I know some of you are guilty. Wink, well, by the end of this video, you might just think twice before tossing any pennies in the future. Trust me, this little coin could change the way you look at your loose change forever. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1964 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, and it's pretty common to find. In fact, over 4.6 billion of these coins were made. So, you're probably wondering, how can something so common be worth so much? The answer lies in its rare error variety. And now, don't go thinking that every 1964 D penny is worth $1 million. If it were that easy, we'd all be walking around in gold shoes. Laughs, but what sets the valuable ones apart is a very specific characteristic, a slight but significant error in the way the coin was struck. This error is called a double die variety, and it happens when the die used to strike the coin gets misaligned during the minting process. When this happens, it results in a blurry or doubled image of Abraham Lincoln, especially in the lettering. The difference is subtle but noticeable if you look closely, especially in the Liberty and "In God We Trust" areas. Imagine you're at a flea market, just chilling, and someone hands you a stack of pennies. You sift through them, looking for something interesting, and bam! You spot a 1964 D penny with this double die error. It catches your eye because the lettering looks off, a bit blurry. Now, most people would toss it aside, thinking it's just another dirty old penny. But you, being the smart coin aficionado that you are, realize, wait, this could be worth big bucks. That moment of discovery? It's like finding an ancient treasure, but in your wallet. Okay, so you found it, and now you're wondering why it's so valuable. Well, here's where the story gets interesting. Because this error is rare, it's sought after by serious collectors and investors. The 1964 D double die penny has become a coveted coin in the numismatic world, with one in mint condition selling for around $1.1 million. To put that in perspective, the average price of a regular 1964 D penny is just a few cents, maybe a dime if it's in great shape. But the one with the error? It's like stumbling upon a $100 bill in a pile of pennies. And that is the kind of lucky find that makes all those hours of sifting through coin jars worth it. Speaking of luck, let me tell you about my personal penny hunting adventure. A while ago, I was at a local flea market just casually browsing, not expecting to find anything crazy. I've always been a fan of old coins, so I grabbed a few handfuls of pennies from this guy's booth who was practically giving them away for pennies on the dollar. Laughs, I started sifting through, and then I spotted one coin that looked a little off. It had the same kind of blurry features I'm describing, the same double die error. I nearly freaked out. I ran over to the vendor and asked if he knew anything about it. He thought it was just a regular penny, and I was this close to making a deal for pocket change. But instead, I walked away with a coin worth hundreds. Thankfully, I caught the mistake. So, if you're ever at a market, a coin shop, or just going through your spare change, remember, there could be a hidden gem waiting for you. Alright, so you're probably itching to check your pennies now, right? If you've got a 1964 D in your collection, or if you've got a jar of loose change lying around, now's the time to check it closely. Here's a quick checklist for spotting that double die error. Look for clear doubling on the lettering in Liberty and "In God We Trust." Inspect the Lincoln portrait for any noticeable doubling. Use a magnifying glass if needed. Don't rely on your naked eye for this. If you think you found a valuable 1964 D penny, take it to a professional numismatist or coin dealer to get it authenticated. You want to make sure you're sitting on a goldmine and not just another penny that you could spend on a cup of coffee. If you enjoyed today's treasure hunt and want to learn more about rare coins, penny hunting, and strategies to turn your change into cash, make sure to hit that subscribe button. There's a lot more where that came from. We'll keep diving into the world of valuable coins, one penny at a time. And don't forget to drop a comment if you found any cool coins yourself. I'd love to hear your stories. Thanks for tuning in, and happy hunting, coin lovers. Stay sharp and keep your eyes on those pennies. You never know when the next $1 million find is going to come your way. Alright, you're sitting there, sipping your coffee, maybe scrolling through your phone, and you come across a penny. A penny. You think to yourself, just another coin to toss in the jar, right? But what if I told you that one of those pennies could be worth a whopping $1.2 million? Yeah, you heard me right, $1.2 million. And no, I'm not talking about some mythical treasure from a pirate's chest. I'm talking about the 1952 Lincoln penny. Stick around because today, we're diving into the fascinating world of coin collecting and how you could strike it big with a penny, the basics of the 1952 Lincoln penny. Okay, let's start with the basics. The 1952 Abraham Lincoln penny is part of the famous Lincoln wheat cent series. You know, the ones with Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the front and 2 wheat stalks on the back, making it look like a farm-to-market deal for coins. But wait, why does this particular 1952 penny have such a high value? It's not just any penny. The S on the coin stands for the San Francisco Mint where it was made. Now, this penny isn't rare in the way a one-of-a-kind item is. There are millions of 1952 pennies out there, but here's the kicker: a small number of them were minted with a little extra charm. We're talking about minting mistakes, imperfections, and errors that make them unique in the eyes of collectors. Imagine this: you have a coin that, on the surface, looks just like the penny you might find in your couch cushions, but thanks to a unique mistake at the mint, it could fetch you a fortune. Those imperfections could be the very thing that makes these pennies worth big money. When I say big money, I mean million-dollar money. So, what's the deal with this penny's current market value, the value of the 1952 Lincoln penny now? I know you're wondering, is this for real? Well, let's get into it. The 1952 Lincoln penny that sold for $1.2 million isn't your run-of-the-mill penny. It's the result of some very specific factors, like minting errors or being in incredibly pristine condition. Collectors are always on the lookout for rare coins with these qualities: low mintage numbers, unique mistakes, and high-grade preservation. Here's the thing though, most of the 1952 pennies you find in your change are not going to be worth $1.2 million. But, here's where it gets good. The idea is to look for that needle in the haystack, the one penny among millions that's got that minting error, that perfect condition, or even an unexpected twist that makes it stand out from the rest. So how do you go about finding this golden penny? Let me give you a quick story to explain it better. Alright, quick side story. A couple of years ago, I decided to go all in on coin hunting. I had a bunch of pennies, some from the 60s, some from the 70s, and a few random ones from the 80s and 90s. I thought, why not? It's fun, and who knows, maybe I'll find something valuable. So, I grabbed my magnifying glass, because yes, that's how hardcore I am about this, and started inspecting my coins like some sort of treasure hunter. After hours of sifting through pennies, I found one. Just one. A 1943 penny that looked a little off. After a quick search online, I found out that this coin was worth quite a bit more than I thought. Now, while my penny wasn't worth $1.2 million, unfortunately, it did teach me one thing: the more you look, the more you might find. And the 1952 Lincoln penny is another example of just how valuable these everyday coins can be when you know what to look for. A great question. If you're out there looking for a 1952 Lincoln penny with the potential to be worth big money, there are a few things to keep in mind. This is probably the most important factor. A penny that's been through the ringer, banged up in your pocket for years, isn't going to be worth nearly as much as one that's in mint condition. You're looking for coins with sharp details, a lack of wear and tear, and no visible scratches. Remember those little mistakes at the mint? If you find a 1952 Lincoln penny that has an error like a double die, where the lettering or details appear more than once, that could make your coin super valuable. These errors are rare and highly sought after by collectors. Not every 1952 penny will be worth millions, but the key here is finding the rare ones that stand out for being in mint condition or having a unique characteristic. The more rare the coin, the more valuable it is. How can you get your hands on one, you might be wondering? Where do I even find these rare pennies? Well, you've got a few options. Look for local coin dealers who specialize in rare coins. They often have a wide variety of pennies and may even have some high-value ones on display. There are tons of online auction sites like eBay where collectors buy and sell coins. Keep an eye out for any 1952 Lincoln pennies listed with the possibility of errors. These are like coin buffets, tons of dealers under one roof, all vying to sell their prized pennies. It's a great place to find rare finds, especially if you're willing to haggle a little. Alright, my fellow coin hunting adventurers, I hope this video helped you see just how much potential that little penny you find in your change could have. If you've learned something today, smash the like button. And if you want more tips on valuable coins, strategies for finding rare gems, and the stories behind them, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on our next coin hunting adventure. Who knows, maybe the next video will have a story about how you found your own $1 million penny. Hey, coin lovers! Imagine rummaging through your spare change, pulling out a penny, and discovering it's worth over $1 million. Sounds like something from a dream, right? Well, get ready to wake up because we're diving into one of the most shocking and most valuable pennies in the world right now, the 1987 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny. That's right, a penny from the 80s that could potentially make you a millionaire. Stick around because we're about to turn this little coin into some big money, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you love talking about coins, collecting, or simply want to know if you're holding on to that next big treasure, you're in the right place. Today's episode is all about the 1987 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny. It's got some serious value, like, a lot of value, and I'll tell you why. So, grab your magnifying glass, put on your detective hat, and let's get into it. Let's start with the basics. The 1987 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny, at first glance, might look like your typical penny. You know, that little copper coin you drop on the floor when you're not looking. But wait, don't toss it yet. This penny's got a secret, and it's one that could make you $1.3 million richer. Now, the D-Mint mark is key here. It stands for Denver, where the coin was produced. Usually, pennies from the 80s are pretty standard, they're in circulation, they're common, and unless you've got something truly rare, they won't exactly make you a fortune. So, what's so special about the 1987 D? Well, this one's been marked as an anomaly. Some of these pennies came out with an off-center strike, meaning the design didn't align properly. Others have rare errors in their die, making them much more sought after by collectors and investors. These imperfections make the 1987 D penny worth far more than you might expect. You might be wondering, how did this penny go from being worth 1 cent to being worth $1.3 million? The short answer: rarity and condition. The minting process is a complex one, and sometimes, things go wrong. Those mistakes turn out to be the gold in the coin collecting world. When a coin is struck imperfectly, it can be one of a kind or a very limited error. In the case of the 1987 D penny, certain versions of the coin were either struck with mistakes or have worn down in a unique way that makes them highly collectible. And now, I'll be honest, finding one of these rare pennies in your change is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. But there are some people out there who have done it. In fact, the reason the value of the 1987 D penny is so high is because they are few and far between. Mint errors like this are what make collectors go wild. Let me tell you a little story from my own coin hunting days. A while back, I was casually going through a jar of pennies I had kept in the back of my closet. I was hoping to find something cool, maybe an old wheat penny or, dare I say it, a rare 1943 copper penny. Don't get me started. Anyway, I pull out a 1987 penny, and for a second, I thought, another regular penny. But as I looked closer, I noticed a tiny flaw in the design. My heart skipped a beat. Could this be? No, it couldn't be. It wasn't the $1 million penny, but it was enough to get me excited. Long story short, it didn't make me a millionaire, but it did teach me an important lesson: always look twice at your coins, especially the ones you think are worthless. You just never know what hidden gems you might find. Alright, so now you're probably asking, how do I know if I've got a valuable 1987 D penny? Here's what you need to look for: check for off-center strikes, double strikes, or die cracks. These are the big money makers. If your 1987 D penny is in pristine condition, as in, no signs of wear and tear, it's more likely to be worth more. The rarer the error, the higher the price. Certain versions of the 1987 D are more sought after than others, and you'll want to research which specific errors are driving up the price. But remember, not every 1987 D penny is going to make you rich. You've got to be on the lookout for those specific flaws and know where to find buyers who are willing to pay top dollar for them. So, what have we learned today? The 1987 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny isn't just a simple coin, it's a valuable piece of history that can potentially make you millions, all thanks to some minting mistakes and the magic of rarity. If you happen to find one, or if you've got one tucked away in your collection, it could be worth far more than you think. Now, I know what you're thinking: where do I even start looking for one of these $1 million pennies? And my answer is simple: start with what you've got. Go through those old jars of change, check your pocket change, and don't toss those pennies without a second look. With a little effort and some luck, you could be holding on to a small fortune. Before you go, here's my final call to action. If you enjoyed learning about the 1987 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny and want to know more about valuable coins, strategies for finding rare ones, or how to cash in on your collection, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'll be sharing more tips, tricks, and coin hunting stories to help you on your way to building a valuable collection. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy hunting, and don't forget to check your change. You never know what might be lurking in your pockets. Hey there, fellow coin enthusiasts. Let me ask you a question. What if I told you there's a coin out there that could be sitting in your pocket, gathering dust, and it could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million? Sounds like a dream, right? Well, it's not just a fantasy. That's the potential value of a specific 2008 Lincoln penny, a coin so rare, it's practically the unicorn of the penny world now. I know what you're thinking, a penny? Really? What's the catch? Stick around, because today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 2008 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny and how this little guy could make you a lot of money. So, grab your magnifying glass, and let's get into it, alright? So let's start with the basics. The 2008 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it might look like any other penny. It's got that familiar Abraham Lincoln design with the iconic memorial on the back, but here's the catch, it has no mint mark now. You might be asking, wait, aren't mint marks supposed to be there? Why is it missing? Great question. Normally, the US Mint stamps a letter on each coin to show where it was made. For example, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or P for Philadelphia. But in 2008, something unusual happened. The US Mint forgot to stamp the mint mark on a bunch of coins, and that's where the value starts to kick in when it comes to rare coins. Scarcity is king. And these 2008 no mint mark pennies? They're scarce. We're talking about a coin that's considered a mistake by collectors. A minting error, as they call it. You might be thinking, but what makes a mistake so valuable? Well, in the world of coin collecting, errors can actually make a coin more desirable. It's like that time you spilled coffee on your favorite shirt. It's a mess, but somehow, people think it's a cool, vintage look. Here's the thing, these pennies didn't just slip through the cracks. They were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, but for whatever reason, no P mint mark made it onto the coin. And that tiny oversight is what's making these pennies worth a fortune. It's one of those happy accidents that collectors are willing to pay big money for. So, how rare are these 2008 no mint mark pennies, really? Well, we don't have an exact number, but it's believed that only a small batch of these error coins was released into circulation. And the ones that are in good condition, especially those without scratches or wear, can fetch incredible amounts on the open market. Some of them have sold for as much as $1.40 million. Now, don't run off to the couch and start searching your couch cushions for a fortune just yet. You need to understand that not every 2008 penny without a mint mark is worth that much. Like most valuable coins, it comes down to condition. If your penny is covered in dents, rust, or fingerprints, it's probably not going to land you $1 million. This actually reminds me of a time I thought I had a rare coin in my pocket. I was at a garage sale, the place where dreams, or nightmares, come true. I found this old, worn-out quarter, and I thought, this has got to be it. This is the one. I bought it for 25 cents, thinking it could be worth hundreds of dollars. Long story short, it wasn't worth a thing. Turns out, the coin was so worn down, I could barely make out what it was. But hey, at least I got a story to tell, right? The point is, when it comes to valuable coins, condition is everything. A shiny, crisp 2008 no mint mark penny could be worth a fortune, while one that's been sitting in your coin jar for years, getting banged around, might not be worth much. So, now that we've got your hopes up, don't worry, I'm not going to leave you hanging. Let's talk about how you can actually check your pennies to see if you've stumbled upon one of these gems. First, make sure it's from 2008. The year will be right there on the front, next to Abe Lincoln's profile. The crucial part is to check the reverse side of the penny. There should normally be a P mint mark under the word E pluribus unum. Fancy, right? If there's no mint mark, then congratulations, you might have one of these rare error coins. If your penny is in great shape, meaning it has no significant damage, wear, or corrosion, then you've got a better shot at getting top dollar. If you think you've got one of these rare pennies, it's worth getting it graded by a professional service like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. They'll assess the condition and certify the value, which can help you sell it for more money. So, there you have it, the 2008 no mint mark Lincoln penny. This tiny coin might just be worth way more than you think, and with a little luck and some careful inspection, you could find one of these valuable error coins hiding in your change jar. Remember, not every 2008 penny is worth $1 million, but hey, if you find one in perfect condition, you could be looking at a small fortune. Now, I've got to be honest, coin collecting can be a wild ride, but it's also a lot of fun. Whether you're in it for the thrill of finding rare coins or just to learn about the fascinating history behind them, there's always something new to discover. If you've enjoyed this video and want more tips on coins worth money, strategies for spotting hidden treasures, and maybe a few more stories of my coin hunting adventures, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got tons of exciting content coming your way, and trust me, you won't want to miss out. Imagine going through a pile of pennies, just like any other day, when suddenly, boom, you find a coin worth over $1 million. Sounds like something out of a movie, right? But it's not fiction, it's reality. Welcome to the world of rare coins, where a simple penny could turn into your ticket to financial freedom. Today, we're talking about the 1985 D-Mint mark Lincoln penny, yes, that unassuming little copper coin you probably have in your pocket right now, and how it's currently worth a whopping $1.5 million. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this penny is worth so much and how you could find one yourself. Now, I know what you're thinking, $1 million penny? That sounds like a crazy online ad. But trust me, I'm not here to sell you anything. I just want to share some mind-blowing coin facts and hopefully, inspire you to check your spare change in a whole new way. So, what makes the 1985 D-Mint mark Lincoln penny so valuable? Is it magic? Is it cursed? No, it's just good old coin collecting science mixed with a dash of rarity. This coin is valuable because of a very rare minting error. You see, most 1985 pennies are worth only a few cents. But a specific, incredibly rare variety of the 1985 D penny, thanks to a minting mishap, is worth up to $1.5 million in perfect condition. We're talking about pennies that were struck with a double die, a fancy term for a coin that was stamped twice in the same spot, causing the design to appear doubled. Basically, it's like having two versions of Abraham Lincoln's face on one coin. And let me tell you, when Lincoln looks at you twice, he's not just checking your change, he's making your bank account look a whole lot better. Now, I know what you're thinking. A double die? Is that like a double rainbow but for coins? Kinda. A double die happens when a coin is struck twice during the minting process, and the second strike is slightly misaligned, causing the design to overlap and repeat. It's like when you try to make a print in art class, but the second stamp doesn't line up perfectly, except this time, that imperfection makes the coin incredibly valuable. But hold up. Just finding a 1985 D penny isn't going to make you a millionaire. You've got to be on the lookout for one that's in mint condition, pun intended. These rare, valuable pennies are only worth big bucks if they are in near perfect shape, no scratches, no wear, no bent edges. The more pristine the coin, the more cash it'll bring in. Okay, so let me tell you a little story. I was once at a garage sale, digging through a box of random coins. Most of them were just, well, junk. You know the kind, pennies from the 70s that look like they've been to war and back. But then, I pulled out this dirty, tarnished old penny. At first, I thought, probably just a regular 1985. But as I looked closer, I saw a slight doubling on the letters. I couldn't believe my eyes. I thought it was a fluke, but it turned out to be a double die error. It wasn't worth $1 million, but I did manage to sell it for a couple of $100. Moral of the story? Always check your pennies, because you never know when you'll hit the jackpot. So, why specifically the 1985 D mint mark? The minting error happened at the Denver Mint, and it was an extremely rare occurrence. Only a small number of these double die pennies were released into circulation. And when you combine rarity with perfect condition, you've got a coin that's as valuable as a treasure chest buried in your backyard, except with a much higher chance of finding it. Alright, let's wrap this up. The 1985 D mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just another forgotten coin from the 80s. If you find one with that double die error, it could be worth up to $1.5 million. But remember, not every 1985 D penny is a winner, so you've got to pay close attention to the details and make sure it's in good condition. Always be on the lookout, who knows, you might have a hidden treasure in your pocket right now. If you loved this video, hit that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up, because we're just getting started. I've got more tips and tricks on rare coins, how to spot valuable ones, and strategies for building your own collection of coins worth serious cash. So, if you want to be the next person telling a crazy "I found a $1.5 million penny" story, make sure you stick around for more content. Drop a comment below if you've ever found any coins that turned out to be worth more than you thought, or if you're just as obsessed with pennies as I am. Until next time, happy hunting, and remember, sometimes the smallest things are worth the most. Hey there, fellow coin enthusiasts. Have you ever found a penny and thought, wow, this could be worth something? Well, buckle up, because today we're talking about a penny that could have you diving into your piggy bank, the 1968 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Now, before you go rummaging through your couch cushions, thinking you're about to find a gold mine, hear me out. This penny isn't just any ordinary piece of pocket change, it's currently valued at a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.6 million. It's the kind of find that could make you start questioning every penny you've ever tossed aside, but don't worry, I'm not just here to give you the million-dollar penny pitch and leave you hanging. We're going to break down exactly why this penny is worth so much, how to spot it, and maybe even share a funny story or two about how we've all been guilty of ignoring the potential treasures lying right under our noses. So grab your magnifying glass, and let's dig into the world of rare coins in the 1968 D penny. Alright, let's get down to business. The 1968 D penny isn't the kind of coin you'll find just anywhere. You might be asking, what's so special about a penny that's, well, just a penny? Well, here's the thing, the 1968 D penny has a history, a little twist of fate, and even a bit of a mystery surrounding it. The 1968 D penny was produced in Denver, hence the D-Mint mark. But what makes it stand out from the rest of the 1968 pennies, and even other Lincoln pennies, is something quite rare, a double die error. This means that the coin was struck twice, creating a slightly offset, double image of Abraham Lincoln's profile and the date. Now, this might not sound like much, but trust me, to collectors, it's a big deal. When coins like this are made, they become extremely valuable because of the rarity of the error. Imagine you're baking cookies and only one batch has a weird, perfect glitch in the shape of a heart. Wouldn't you want that batch? Of course, you would. That's exactly what collectors are after, and now, I bet you're wondering, how do I spot one of these precious pennies? It's all in the details, my friend. First, look at the date and the Lincoln bust. If you can see a noticeable doubling or if the lines look like they're almost shifting, you found the jackpot. Of course, you'll need a good magnifying glass, or maybe even a loupe, to really catch the fine details. But trust me, it's worth the effort, and here's where things get even more exciting. This penny isn't just rare, it's a sought-after piece in the coin collecting community. You see, finding one of these 1968 D pennies in good condition is already an accomplishment, but finding one in excellent condition, especially with the double die error, is a whole different level. These coins can be sold for up to $1.6 million, which is a huge chunk of change for a little copper disc. And if you think that's unbelievable, think about this, there are people out there who have sold similar error coins for even more. It's like finding a golden ticket in your cereal box, but instead of chocolate factories, you're swimming in a pool of rare coins. Who knew pennies could be so magical, right? Now, here's a funny thing. I remember when I first got into coin collecting, and by getting into it, I mean I picked up a couple of pennies from my mom's coin jar thinking they were worth something. Yeah, I thought every penny I found was a potential gold mine. It wasn't until I started doing some research that I realized most of those pennies were worth, well, not much more than their face value. But hey, it was a start, and at least I didn't toss them away like most people do. Speaking of tossing pennies away, let's talk about the classic coin toss. You know, when you flip a coin to decide something, heads or tails? I always thought it was such a great way to make decisions, like whether I should buy that extra large pizza for myself or just go with the smaller one. But imagine this, what if, instead of heads or tails, you were flipping a coin that's worth $1 million? Suddenly, my decision on pizza seems a lot more important. Should I order 2 pizzas? Or should I sell the penny and really treat myself? Decisions. So, to wrap things up, if you happen to find a 1968 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny, hold on to it. But remember, it's all about knowing what to look for. Look for that double die error, make sure the coin is in good condition, and get it appraised if you think you might have a hidden treasure. The world of rare coins is full of surprises, and who knows? Maybe that penny you were about to throw in the fountain could be your ticket to a small fortune. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on more tips about valuable coins and how to spot those hidden gems. I'll be here, helping you navigate the world of numismatics, one shiny penny at a time. And hey, if you find that $1 million coin, don't forget to send me a thank you card. I'll be waiting for the invite to your coin museum. Hey, what's up, coin lovers? Let me ask you something. How many of you have that jar of loose change somewhere in your house? You know, the one that's been sitting there for years, gathering dust, with no real purpose other than collecting lint? Well, let me tell you, that jar could be hiding a small fortune, and I'm not just talking about the occasional rare quarter you got as change when buying a coffee today. We're diving into a coin that's worth way more than you probably think, the 1979 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Yeah, you heard that right, a penny from 1979 could be sitting in your collection, worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. I know it sounds crazy, but trust me, it's true. Stick around because I'm about to break it all down for you in the next 20 minutes. You won't want to miss this, especially if you've got a pile of old pennies sitting around, alright, so let's get into it. You might be asking, what's so special about a 1979 penny? Well, the 1979 Lincoln penny, especially the ones without a mint mark, is a super rare find. It's like the unicorn of the penny world. But why? Let me give you a little backstory on this. So, in 1979, the US Mint was going through some changes. They were trying to keep up with the demand for pennies, and to do that, they cranked out a ton of them. But here's the kicker, most of the 1979 pennies were stamped with a mint mark. The problem was, some of the coins came out without that mint mark, which is super rare. No mint mark means fewer of those pennies were made, and that's what makes them so valuable today. And now, here's the thing. Finding one of these 1979 no-mint mark pennies in circulation is like winning the lottery. Seriously. It's not something you're going to just stumble upon. These coins are often tucked away in old collections or hidden away in drawers of people who don't realize what they've got. But what makes this penny worth a cool $1.7 million? Well, it all comes down to a combination of rarity, condition, and historical context. Coin collectors and investors go crazy for these types of finds because they're not only rare but are also in demand from both collectors and investors looking for solid returns. Imagine finding something in your pocket worth as much as a house. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so maybe this penny is rare, but how do I know if I've got one worth millions? Good question. You can easily tell if it's a 1979 no-mint mark penny just by looking closely. First, check the front of the coin. If there's no mint mark under the year 1979, you've got a potential jackpot on your hands. But don't go getting too excited just yet because condition is everything. If your penny looks like it's been through a blender, scratches, dings, dirt, you might not be in luck. Condition is a huge factor in how much a coin is worth. The rarer the coin and the better the condition, the more valuable it is. So, if your penny looks like it's in great shape, you're probably sitting on something that could fetch a pretty penny. Pun totally intended. But here's the thing, don't start flipping through your change collection just yet. Even though a 1979 no-mint mark penny could be worth $1.7 million, finding one in mint condition is next to impossible. That's why so many of these coins are locked away in private collections or in vaults somewhere. But hey, that doesn't mean you shouldn't check your stash of coins. You never know what might be hiding in there. Speaking of unexpected finds, let me share a quick story. A few years back, I was going through some old coins my grandfather had given me. I wasn't really paying much attention, thinking they were all just a bunch of old change that didn't amount to much. But as I was sorting through them, I stumbled upon a 1943 steel penny. Now, most of you probably know that the 1943 steel pennies are worth a lot of money, but back then, I had no idea. I almost tossed it in just a regular penny pile. Luckily, I stopped myself just in time. That penny, in great condition, turned out to be worth a couple $100 at the time, and if I had let it go unnoticed, I would have missed out on a small fortune. Moral of the story? Always check your coins, even the ones that seem common. You never know when a piece of history might be staring back at you, so, there you have it, the 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Who would have thought that a simple penny could be worth $1.7 million, right? But remember, finding one of these rare beauties in good condition is a long shot, and even if you do find one, be sure to get it appraised by a professional to know its true value. But hey, this isn't just about the 1979 penny. There are tons of other coins out there that could be worth a lot of money if you know where to look. And if you want to learn more about how to spot valuable coins hiding in plain sight, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Trust me, I've got plenty of tips, tricks, and insider knowledge to help you discover coins worth big bucks. Hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up if you learned something new, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a coin that turned out to be worth more than you expected.